Good morning, dear children. I hope you all are fine and safe at home. Today, we are going to have the revision of English grammar. We have taken lesson 1, the sentence. I hope you all have completed this chapter in your notebooks. Dear students, if you see the group of words on the board, a boy, good, Rohan is. Do you understand the meaning of this sentence? Do these words make a complete sense? We will get the answer no. These group of words does not make a complete sense. If we rearrange these words, if we arrange them in a proper order, Rohan is a good boy. Rohan is a good boy. Yes, now we get a complete sense. We understand these group of words. So, when group of words makes complete sense, we call it a sentence. So, today we are going to learn about what is a sentence. Sentence is a group of words. Sentence is a group of words. Sentence makes a complete sense. Group of words which makes complete sense, we call them a sentence. Sentence always begins with a capital letter. Whenever we write any sentence, should always begin with capital letter. Another important thing to remember, sentence ends with a punctuation mark. Always we put a punctuation mark after the sentence. These punctuation marks can be different according to the type of the sentence. If your sentence is a simple statement, you will put full stop. If your sentence is a question, you will put question mark. If your sentence is an exclamatory sentence, you will put the sign of exclamation. So altogether we can say a sentence is a group of words which makes a complete sense. Is called a sentence. It begins with a capital letter. It ends with a punctuation mark. Another important thing, there is a verb in a sentence always. Always the verb is the part of the sentence. Without a verb, our sentence will never be complete. So, always remember there should be a verb in a sentence. Once again, I'll repeat, sentence is a group of words which makes a complete sense. It always begins with a capital letter and ends with a punctuation mark as per the sentence. Now, the next point is phrase. What is a phrase? Phrase is also a group of words. Now, some of the students may get confused. Earlier, ma'am said group of words are called sentences. Now, again, ma'am is saying group of words are called phrases. There is a difference, my dear children. Phrase is also a group of words, but it does not make a complete sense. It always make partial. It makes partial sense. It always makes partial sense. Means we get some idea about something. We cannot understand it completely. For example, on the chair. we can get just idea of something. We cannot understand it completely. On the chair, what is on the chair, who is on the chair, no idea about it. If I say Meera is sitting on the chair, this is also a group of words. These are also a group of words, but there is difference. These group of words does not make complete sense. They make partial sense. But these group of words, Meera is sitting on the chair, it makes a complete sense. It begins with a capital letter, ends with a full stop, and it is having a verb in it. So, the difference between the phrase and the sentence are: first one, phrase does not begin with a capital letter. Phrase does not end with any punctuation mark. Phrase is not having verb in it. But the sentence begins with capital letter, ends with punctuation mark, having verb in it, and it makes a complete sense. But phrase makes a partial sense. Phrase is the part of the sentence. On the chair, on the chair. Here we can see this phrase is the part of the sentence. So, next topic is subject and predicate. Subject and predicate. Subject can be a person or thing, or it can be any animal. We speak about what we speak is the subject. About what we speak in a sentence is called a subject, and predicate is what we speak about the subject. We say what we say or what we speak. What we speak about the subject. About the subject is called the predicate. Subject and predicate are the parts of the sentences. Sentence is divided into two parts. The first one is subject and the second one is predicate. Subject is, it can be the person, it can be thing or animal, means about what we speak in a sentence. And predicate is whatever we speak about the subject, that is the predicate. Let us see this example. We went to the market. We went to the market. Now, what is a subject in this sentence? In this sentence, we are speaking about what? We are speaking about we. So, we is the subject in this sentence. It is the subject. Who went to the market? We went to the market. So, we is the subject and rest is the predicate. What we speak about the subject is called the predicate. Always remember, verb is always the part of the predicate. Went is the verb and verb is always the part of the predicate. It always contains, a predicate always contains a verb in it. So, sentence is having two parts. The first one is subject and the second one is predicate. What we speak about is, about what we speak is the subject, and what we speak about the subject, that is called the predicate. Now, dear children, you may get confused how to find out the subject in a sentence. There is a method of finding out the subject in a sentence. First of all, you should know what is a verb in your sentence. After finding the verb, you have to ask a question, who or what. Here we know the verb is went. If we ask a question, who or what, these two questions we can ask. Who went to the market? If we ask a question, who went to the market? The answer we get, we went to the market. So, the answer of this question is the subject of the sentence. So, never get confused how to find out a subject in a sentence. There is a way. First of all, you should find out the verb in it, and then you should ask a question, who or what. Then you will get the subject of the sentence. Now, the next topic is, we are going to revise is object of the verbs. Object of the verbs. What is an object of the verb? How to find out? If I write the sentence on the board, Rohan plays cricket. Here is the sentence in front of you. Rohan plays a cricket. Now, you know, Rohan is the subject in this sentence. Altogether, plays cricket is a predicate. And we know plays is a verb in this sentence. Plays is a verb in this sentence. There is a method of finding out the object of the verb. Always we should find out the verb first of all, and soon after the verb we ask a question, what or whom. We get the object of the verb. Here in this sentence, if I ask, Rohan plays what? Rohan plays what? What answer do we get? What does he play? He plays cricket. Cricket is the answer. My dear children, before saying our answer is the object of the verb, there is one more step. We should understand, before calling it an object of the verb, we should compare our answer with the subject of the sentence. If your answer is completely different from the subject, you will say, yes, it is the object of the verb. Here, cricket. Cricket is a game. Rohan is the subject. Rohan is a human being. So, cricket and Rohan are completely different from each other. They are completely different from each other. So, we can say this answer is the object of the verb. This is the object of the verb. Step by step, you should understand how to find out the object of the verb. First of all, you should find out the subject and verb in the sentence. Then, after the verb, you should ask a question, what, and another question is whom. What or whom? These two questions we ask. So, after finding out the answer of our question, we have to compare our answer with the subject. If it is completely different from the subject, we say yes, our answer is the object of the verb. Dear children, to clear up your doubt, I will write another sentence. The peacock is our national bird. The peacock is our national bird. This is the sentence, and peacock is the subject in this sentence. Is the verb in this sentence, and peacock is the subject. Now, finding out the object of the verb, we have to follow the same rule. The peacock is what, or the peacock is whom? Peacock is what? What, when we ask a question what, we get the answer our national bird. We get the answer our national bird. And my dear children, I told you that after finding out this answer, we always compare our answer with the subject. Now, in this step, when we compare our answer with the subject, our national bird. National bird is peacock itself. Both are same. Peacock is the national bird. Our national bird is the peacock. So, our answer is not different from the subject. It is similar to the subject. Our answer, though we are getting the answer of what, but it is similar to the subject. So, we cannot call it the object of the verb. It is not the object of the verb, but it is a complement. It is a complement. It is not the object of the verb because it is similar to the subject. So, it is not the object of the verb, it is the complement. Complement means group of words which are needed to complete the meaning of the sentence. So, now I hope you have understood to find out the object of the verb. Dear students, in some of the sentences, we can get more than one object. Let us see those kind of sentences. My mother gave me a pen. My mother gave me a pen. What is the subject in this sentence? Gave what? Answer we get my mother. So it is the subject. It is the subject. And gave is the verb. We know that after the verb we ask question what or whom to find out the object. My mother gave what? What answer do we get? My mother gave a pen. Answer is a pen. Now, one more question we ask. Whom? There are two questions to be asked. My mother gave whom? Whom she gave the pen? My mother gave the pen to me. So, me is the answer. Dear children, again you have to compare your answers with the subject. Pen is something else. Mother is something else. Both are different from each other. Me and mother, both are different from each other. So, both are the objects. My dear children, in a sentence when there is only one object, only one answer we get, we just call it an object of the verb. But when we get two answers, answer of what or answer of whom, means there are two objects. Answer of what is usually called the direct object, and answer of whom is usually the indirect object. So my dear children, in some of the sentences you can get more than one object of a verb. When there are two objects of a verb, we call them direct and indirect objects. But when there is only one object in a sentence, we just call it an object. I hope all of you understood this topic, object of the verbs. Let us see the next topic, that is kind of sentences. Kinds of sentences. There are mainly 4 kinds of sentences. The first one is assertive sentence. Assertive sentences are also called declarative sentences. Also, assertive sentences states or declares a fact. States or declares a fact. Means assertive or declarative sentences are simple statements. For example, we can say the sun rises in the east, Mohan is a good boy. These are the statements. Simple statements are called assertive sentences. Second one is interrogative sentences. Interrogative sentences ask questions. Sentences which ask questions are called interrogative sentences. For example, who are you? What is your name? These sentences are asking questions and we call them interrogative sentences. Always remember, assertive sentences always ends up with a full stop. Interrogative sentences always ends up with a question mark. They always ends up with a full stop. And interrogative sentences also ends up with a question mark. Now, the third kind of sentence is imperative sentence. Imperative sentence is a sentence which is making advice, give suggestion, make command. All these are the imperative sentences. They give order, they give commands, they make request or can give advice. They can give advice. For example, be quiet is an order. So, it's imperative sentence. Give me a glass of water. It's command. Imperative sentence. Please open the door. It is a request. It is imperative sentence. And the fourth kind of sentence is exclamatory sentence. Exclamatory sentences express. Exclamatory sentence expresses sudden feelings. Sudden feelings or emotions. They express sudden, strong feelings or emotions. You say, how wonderful, what a beautiful sight. These are the exclamatory sentences. They express strong, sudden feelings or emotions. So these are the main topics in the chapter. The first is the sentence. Sentence is a group of words which makes a complete sense. It begins with a capital letter and ends with a punctuation mark. According to the sentence, it can be full stop, it can be a question mark, or it can be a sign of exclamation. Then the second topic we studied about the phrase. Phrase is also a group of words, but it makes a partial sense. Phrase is the part of the sentence. There is difference between the phrase and a sentence. Phrase does not begin with a capital letter. Phrase does not end up with a full stop. And phrase does not contain a verb in it. Then after the phrase we studied about the subject and predicate. Sentence is divided into two parts. The first one is subject and the second one is predicate. About what we talk in a sentence is the subject, and whatever we talk about the subject, that is the predicate. After subject and predicate, we studied the object of the verb. Object of the verb, we learned the way how to find out the object of the verb. Object of the verb we find out by asking question what or whom after the verb. We studied in some of the sentences we can get only one verb, one object, that is simply called object. In some of the sentences we can get the answer of both, what or whom. In that case, usually the answer of what is the direct object and answer of whom is the indirect object. And then after the object, we have studied the kinds of sentences. There are 4 kinds of sentences: assertive sentence, interrogative sentence, imperative sentence, and exclamatory sentence. I hope all of you understood it well. Now, my dear children, all of you, prepare your portion for the periodic test. Learn all the definitions and exercises given in lesson number 1. This is your today's homework. Thank you.